Hello, all. Jace here. Um, it's been a busy couple of days, and I just thought I would kind of check in with you guys, see what you thought about what's been going on in the news, um, primarily with Biden and the COVID diagnosis and all that, and kind of see what your thoughts are on it. Because I've got a couple of theories, and I wanted to see if I'm being crazy or what you guys think. Because just recently, Biden's come in and said that he has tested positive for COVID, which I don't know if that's true or not. But if he does, I sure I pray that he has a quick and full recovery from it and that he's doing okay. I will say the timing of it is very suspicious. Um, you've got Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi's kind of alluded to it, but not come out and said it, that they're trying to pressure him to get out of the race. Um, Now all of a sudden, after just the last few outings he has had, the last exposure he has had to the media, that it has not gone well. Um, he did that NAACP interview or press conference in Vegas. I'm sure you guys have seen it. If I can find some footage, I'll post it here. Did not do well. The debate, everybody's seen it. We all know how that went. Even he knows how that went. Um, that press conference after the NATO conference, he did better. He definitely did better than the debate, but it was still a nightmare. Every interview, every press conference, everything has been a nightmare. Um, so I believe whether he has COVID or not, he's trying to hide. He's trying to hide. I think he knows the longer he can stall, the longer he can stay the nominee, um, the less opportunity all of his Democratic opponents have to get him out of there. Um, Now, which brings the question of will he be the candidate in November? I'm really curious to see what you guys think. I don't think he will. Whether they Article 25 him and get him out of there, or whether he finally, um, buckles to the pressure that he's receiving and bows out. I don't know, but I do not think he'll be the candidate in November. Um, I think this is either right now this COVID thing and him going to Delaware and hiding in his house is either a stall tactic by him, or he was highly recommended to do that so they can put a game plan together on how they're going to get him off the ballot in November without him having to resign his presidency. I believe it's one or the other. Let me know what you guys think, but that's what I believe. Um, I think he's got too much ego. I don't. My assumption is he's just trying to hide out. He's trying to stay low because every time he talks in public, he just makes it worse for himself. So I think he's just trying to hide out, get through this, get to the point where they don't have a choice. They've got it. They've got to let him run in November. And for whatever lucidity he still has, he probably believes he could win. And I can't say for certain that he's wrong. Honestly, I can't. Um, you look at 2016, Hillary had a 99% odds of winning that election. Everybody thought she was going to win that election. I don't trust those polls. I don't trust a single one of them. Um, and I will I will never doubt the the passion of the Trump haters. Um, People don't like a lot of people don't like Trump. That's just the truth. Um, and a lot of people will vote in, or very well could choose to vote in whoever's going to run the country in the place of Joe Biden instead of voting for Trump. That is 100% real. So I don't know that he's wrong, that he's actually got a legitimate shot. You look at the polls. I mean, battleground states, which it depends on which poll you go to. One poll will have him up 5 in Michigan. One poll will have him down 7. Who knows? I mean, he's absolutely. You got to believe he's losing ground, um, just because of even people with blinders, you know, or rose-colored glasses, have got to see what's going on. So I'll bet those independents, those not hardcore liberal voters, very well he could be losing ground with them. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. But that doesn't mean it's a guarantee that I don't think it's a lock that Trump's got this thing. I do think Trump's best chance is if Biden is the nominee. I absolutely do. Um, so I hope he stays in the race. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll be the candidate in November, but I hope he is. Because the idea of them bringing in an 11th hour candidate um, really scares me. It does. I mean, the public wouldn't have time for that honeymoon period of this new candidate to be over before November. So that candidate would likely have a lot of energy and a lot of support behind them before the election. Um, that's more frightening to me than Biden for sure. Um, Especially when I don't think it'll be Kamala Harris either. Um, I think they'll bring in, you know, what's her name, Gretchen Wertner. I don't remember her name, but from Michigan or something. Yeah, they'll bring in. I don't think it'll be Newsom. I don't think Newsom would take it. I don't think he's willing to jump on a grenade for anybody. So I don't think it would be Newsom. But it's going to be somebody else that doesn't have, that isn't as prominent in the public eye. So nobody's going to know anything. Nobody's going to know all the warts, and the Republicans wouldn't have time to vet them properly and expose them. And so that's a frightening prospect. And I think the Democrats know that, and I think that's why they're trying to push Biden out. Um, Kamala's, I think she last time I saw, she's polling behind like 5 or 6 different Democrat governors already. Just her even being in that conversation for a few days, she she lost ground just like she did um, in 2020 when she tried to run for president. She couldn't even carry her home state. She's just not likable. The other thing that really concerns me, makes me think he might be bowing out or laying the groundwork to bow out, is the BET article or interview he just did. And let's go ahead and watch a little snip of that.
There's more to do, and I'm reluctant to walk away from that. Would you be willing to be transitional even at this point? Would you be willing to even look at the idea that if you get in, perhaps in a year and a half or two, you would look to your, in your words, very capable vice president to carry it over the finish line? Well, look, only if I was told that there was some medical condition that I had. And that's not the case. So
you can see in that interview, he's already kind of laying the groundwork, which magically, just a couple of days after he talked about he would be willing to pass the torch. And this is, of course, what they're talking about is after he was reelected. So they're not even talking about November. But he said he'd be willing to pass that torch if he had developed a medical condition. And he said he doesn't have it, but he laid that groundwork. Um, the other thing they discussed during that interview was him being, what he ran on in 2020 was him being a transitional candidate. He definitely led everyone to believe that he planned to be a one-term president because of his age, um, and he went back on that in this election cycle. But he also mentioned that. So I see a lot of red flags there that make me think that he is not going to be the candidate in November. Now, the other thing, and I'll try to find a clip and put it up here if I can, but I don't even know if I want to. So Joy Reid is at the Republican National Convention, and she's talking about, she equated, I'm sure you guys have already seen it. She equated Biden having COVID to Trump getting shot in the head. And she said, well, now if Biden can have this horrible, horrible disease that's killed so many people and he can recover from it, isn't that isn't that equal to Trump getting shot and him being able to recover from it and go to the convention? Isn't that the same thing? Which is, I mean, she was interviewing Jen Psaki, and I mean, even she was trying to restrain a laugh there. It's a laughable question. It's obviously not the same thing. Um, the idea that people are still putting COVID in this category of horrible, horrible, fatal illness, that ship has sailed, thankfully. Um, but it's just, I mean, you're seeing the media. Well, I was going to say the media that leans to the left, but that's basically the whole media. Um, the stuff they're coming out with, my gosh, the conspiracy theories, the shooting was staged. All, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know why they think this is going to sway anybody. It's just going to lead to their separation from their viewers. Because I don't care if you're right or left, nobody buys this crap. Nobody does. Um, Democrats aren't stupid. They don't match up with me ideologically. They're not stupid. It was obviously not staged. Um, I just don't know where they're going with this. I don't. I think they're just so desperate. They're just grasping for straws. They're trying to do or say whatever they can to stay relevant, and to keep Biden or the Democratic Party um, relevant. And it's really shameful. It's really shameful. Instead of using this as an opportunity, you know, like I mentioned in my last video like this, um, instead of using this as an opportunity to come together and to put aside our differences and to unite as a country to say this is aberrant behavior and it's got to stop, they've already started the the divisiveness. That instead of it just being a deplorable act that we all must condemn, it's staged. It's Trump's fault. Trump said fight. I don't understand why they think divisiveness is going to sell. You look at their ratings, it's not working. It's not selling. Um, the vast majority of Democrats are just like the vast majority of Republicans want this divisiveness. They don't. I don't either. It's all this rhetoric has to stop. Um, Same thing with them talking about uh, condemning Biden for his put him in the put a bullseye on him as inflammatory comments. You can't do that. Republicans, you can't do that. You can't say Trump didn't do anything wrong leading up to January 6th. He did not incite anything, and then say Biden should be condemned for saying put a bullseye on him. We've got to be intellectually consistent. I don't think there was anything wrong with Biden saying put him in the crosshairs. He clearly didn't mean we need to go try to shoot President Trump. Just like I don't think there's anything wrong with Trump standing up there after he'd been shot in the head, which he can say pretty much whatever you want after he gets shot in the head, but in saying fight, 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 because he was clearly not, it was not a call to violence. Obviously not. They're the same. And I think, you know, Republicans always complain about this whole, you know, Republicans pounce statement that the left wing media likes to put on us. Well, then don't do it. If you want to complain about the establishment media saying that kind of thing, don't do it. Um, those comments are not an incitement. It's just the way people talk. So I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's any story to Biden saying put him in the crosshairs. Um, anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. You guys let me know your thoughts. Am I way off base? Do you guys think Biden will be the candidate in November? Do you guys think Biden, the story is what they're saying it is? He's got COVID, so he's, you know, um, resting at his home until he gets over it. Do you think it's just nothing more than that? If you do think they're going to replace him, who do you think they're going to replace him with? I honestly don't know that I've got a vote or an idea in mind on that just yet. Um, I don't think anybody other than Newsom, nobody stands out to me as a really strong candidate, and Newsom isn't going to be the one, not for this election cycle. So you guys let me know. What are your thoughts? If they do replace him, who's it going to be? Um, I think we'll go into JD Vance. Maybe I'll do another episode. We'll go into JD Vance. But if you guys want to throw down on there what you guys thought of his speech at the convention, what you guys think of him as a vice presidential candidate, kind of let me know your thoughts on that too. But I think we'll do a separate video and go more into that. Um, Today I just felt like once I saw this with Biden and the COVID and the timing of it, I just kind of felt like I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about that and see what you think. I just think it's really interesting timing. Um, anyway, let me know and throw me some comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you for the next one. God bless.